All good in here. Looking good. Hey there, Bitsy. Boy, checking on all the animals sure does make me hungry. What could we get to eat? Beep, 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 beep. Hello? Yes, I'm looking for the Pepper Man. That's right, I need an order of peppers. Thanks. Huh. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Yes, hello, doctor? Yeah, I'm good. Hey, I got a favor. Yeah, that's right. Yep, I did it again. Thanks, doctor. Come in.
The doctor is in. Oh, so you bought the seeds instead of the peppers, I see here, Professor. Well, no worries. We can grow the peppers from these seeds.
But I don't know anything about growing plants from seeds. Where do we even begin?
First, we must germinate the seeds.
Oh, what? That's gross. I don't want to germ anything.
No, not germ anything, Professor. Germinate. Germination is the process by which an organism like a plant grows from a seed.
Gee Wilker, that sure is amazing. But, Dr. Jarvis, how on earth does such a tiny little seed grow into such a big plant?
Well, Professor, though the seed may be small, it is not a simple structure. There are all kinds of biochemical reactions going on in the seed once it begins germination. And the initiation of this process can depend on all kinds of variables like temperature, sunlight, moisture, and time. There are hormones in the seed that are released once it has soaked up enough water that tell it to begin growing. Once this process has begun, the seed needs good soil or else it can't survive.
Well, golly, I guess that makes sense. But, Doctor, what do you mean by good soil? What makes good soil?
Okay, well, good soil is like, it begins with, well, good soil has to, you know what, Professor, instead of just telling you, why don't I show you? Soil is made up of a variety of natural components existing together in a myriad of combinations, and these components can be classified into 4 main groups: organic, inorganic, water, and air. There are even physical characteristics by which we describe soils that can be broken down into 7 primary categories, which include composition, soil water, color, texture, structure, organic matter, and soil chemistry. But that's a course for another day. There are actually hundreds of different types of soils in the state of Wisconsin alone, and there are several different types out here at Bethel Horizons. Here you can see some of the soil regions of Wisconsin, which include the forested silty soils, the prairie silty soils, and the forested soils over sandstone of the southwestern corner of the state. Soils of the southwestern ridges and valleys are represented by undulating, rolling, and hilly soils on either limestone ridges or on quartzite uplands, both of which we have represented in the cliffs out in the valley of Bethel Horizons. If we were to classify the prairie and forest soils we might find throughout southwestern Wisconsin and here at Bethel Horizons, there are 3 out of 12 orders we are likely to come across: alpha soils, Molosoils, and intersoils, which, if you would like some more detail as to what these types of soils are like, well, there you have it. Molosoils are actually abundant here out at Bethel Horizons. These dark, rich soils, commonly found in tall grass prairies, are high in organic content and base nutrients, and often form calcium carbonate in the lower layers.
Whoa!
Don't worry, Professor, that badger won't badger you. Badgers actually prefer prairie regions with sandy loam soils, where they can dig more easily for their prey and excavate tunnels for their homes.
Boy, that badger sure did startle me. But, Professor, what do you mean by sandy loam soils?
Well... Now, Professor, do you recall when I was telling you about the 7 physical properties of soil? Yes, good. Now, silty loam soils has to do with one of those properties, and that property is texture. Soil textures rank in 3 main classes of particle size. Clay particles are the smallest, whereas silt particles are medium-sized, and sand particles are the largest, up to 2.0 millimeters in diameter. Texture is important for a variety of reasons. The finer the texture, the more surface area is available for chemical reactions to occur, and the ability of nutrients for plants. As more surface area is exposed, the availability of nutrients increases. As you can see here on the soil texture triangle, most soils are a combination of the 3 main particles. Clay loam soil textures, for example, are nearly equal parts of sand, silt, and clay, whereas sandy loam soils have a higher percentage of sand mixed in with a lower percentage of loam, silt, and clay. Wisconsin even has its very own state soil, the Antigo silt loam, which happens to have its very own song, lyrics by F.D. Hall. Do you know, Professor, why it is so important that we know the identity and the status of the soil upon off which we live?
Boy, oh boy, I sure do. I remember I was just a boy living out of my daddy's wagon. Times were tough. It was during what is now known as the Dust Bowl. It came in 3 waves, the first in 1934, followed by 2 more in 1936 and 1939. We had insufficient understanding of the ecology of the Great Plains, and the farmers conducted extensive deep plowing of the plains' virgin topsoil, displacing the native deep-rooted grasses that normally trap soil and moisture, even during periods of drought and high winds. Excessive plowing was exacerbated by rapid mechanization of farm equipment, especially the gasoline tractor and the combine harvester. Because of this, we suffered through severe dust storms, and many of our crops and livestock failed throughout the drought-stricken plains.
No! Wow, Professor, what an incredible story. And the perfect example as to why it is so important that we know the properties and the composition of our soils. Now, one last neat thing about soils is that if you dig down deep into nearly any given soil, It's going to be made up of layers, otherwise known as horizons.
Huh. Hey, I guess that's kind of like Bethel horizons, right?
Not quite, Professor. Here, let me explain. The different layers of the soil make up what's known as the soil profile. Each layer is represented by a letter: O, A, E, B, C, and R. I've invited the Horizons family down to the Nature Center today so that they can tell you themselves a little bit about each of their roles.
Yep. Just sit down and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, can do. Why, hello. I am the O Horizon, but you probably know me as the organic layer. I am mostly made up of organic materials such as decomposing leaves and grasses and such. I am thick in some soils, I am thin in others, and I'm not even present in some other soils, so... Why, hello there. I am the A Horizon, but you can call me the Topsoil. I am the older brother of the O Horizon. I'm a little bit more uniform, a little bit more organized, and I am mostly minerals from the parent material with some organic matter mixed in, incorporated into it. And I am very good. I am probably the best material for plants and other organisms to live and grow.
Well, hey there. I'm the alluviated layer, otherwise known as the E Horizon. I'm mostly leached of clay minerals and organic matter, leaving a concentration of sand and silt particles of quartz and other resistant materials. I'm missing in some soils, but I'm often found in older soils and forest soils. Hello, I'm the B Horizon. A lot of people call me the subsoil. And listen, that's true, I am the subsoil. I'm rich, very rich, in minerals that leach down from the A and E horizon and accumulated here. A lot of people say I benefit from the trickle-down effect where I get all those good, valuable nutrients from up above and they just trickle down into my layer. It's a pretty good layer. Subsoil, pretty sweet.
Good day, it's a pleasure to be here today. I'm the C Horizon, otherwise known as the parent material. I'm the deposit at the Earth's surface from which all soils develop, giving rise to all those little layers above me. I guess that's why they call me the parent material.
What's up? I'm the R Horizon, but I like being called the bedrock. I'm the layer beneath the C Horizon, and I'm usually a mass of rocks such as granite, basalt, quartzite, limestone, or sandstone. I help out with all the little things up above. Bedrock on!
Hi, thanks again for joining us for another Wildlife Wednesday. Stay tuned for part 2 of this series where the professor and I will be focusing on seeds. Until then, get outside, read a good book, and continue learning. Because remember, learning is cool.
And don't you forget it.